Oh, yes. Back to the days of disco balls, bell bottoms, metal lunchboxes, pop rocks, Saturday Night Fever, the debut of Dallas. You know I just slipped it in there.
I knew you'd slip. I knew it.
April 2nd, 1978.
Thank you, 70s Rain Man. That's what you are right now. Well, new book, Whatever Happened to Pudding Pops, takes a look back at the lost toys, tastes, and trends of the 70s and 80s. And joining us this morning are the authors, Brian Belmont and Gail Fashingbauer Cooper. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Now, the two of you met each other. This was back in the 80s. And so what made you want to go back and take this trip back in time together and write a book?
Well, I think part of it is that, you know, we grew up in the much maligned Generation X and had a lot of baby boomer nostalgia surrounding us. And so enough time had passed. We wanted to look back and see what had happened to some of the things we grew up with. And a lot of them are still around. Some of them come back with different names, but many are still here, and we were glad to find it.
Well, let's get to the fun. We'll start down here. I see a metal lunchbox, and I see classic Doritos, like vintage. Those are probably...
That's what they would look like.
Yes.
Exactly. And I'm sure you remember these metal lunchboxes. A lot of people have, you know, fabric bags right now, but you know, this was always kind of a part of the class system when you would get to school. Who had the best possible lunchbox? And also, you're right. It could have also been used as a weapon.
Well, often was.
And taco flavored Doritos have just come back. This is one of the favorite flavors that people keep talking about, and now they're back in this retro bag.
Yeah, I love that. I'm loving that. Okay, now I couldn't help but notice this was a game that I played a lot as a kid. Mystery Date. If you grew up in the 70s, if you were a girl, I'm not saying that boys didn't play it, but this was something that we definitely played. And you remember opening up the door?
Yeah.
Remember this? And then you didn't want to get the dud. Now this wasn't the dud.
No, that's the hip surfer dude, but the dud is in fact in there. And there is a modern version of this game. I saw it at Target yesterday. This is the 1972 classic.
There he is.
There, you just passed it.
That was
Did I pass the dud?
It's a little hard
like
to tell.
Bill Gates.
He looks a lot like Bill Gates.
He's probably a billionaire by now. Are you serious?
You should
He
have
owns
taken
Apple
the dud.
now.
Forget the surfer. He's, you know.
Oh, that
Now-
brings back memories.
And speaking of being dapper, not Dapper Dan, you hear that phrase all the time when someone's dressed up. Oh, you're a Dapper Dan. So this is the doll, and it was a kind of an educational toy.
Yep, exactly. It taught kids how to button and zip and snap.
Tie laces.
And tie laces. We always think it's hilarious because, you know, it taught this generation of people how to dress, and obviously he had really no idea how to dress at all. With
He had no
He's mixing
plaid
patterns.
and yeah.
Kids today, they don't know how to, you know, tie their shoelaces.
Right.
Because
They
they don't
have
have them
Velcro.
anymore.
And he needs to rub in that blush there.
Yeah, and look at here. This is a radio from the 70s.
Called
right?
a Panapet because it's on a little chain leash, and we were so excited when we finally got radios you could take your music with you. Now you take it for granted, but then, wow, it was really novel.
That's what you used to lug around. Not an iPod. That was the early version of the iPod right there.
Right.
And here is the candy, the
Pop
Pop Rocks.
Rocks.
Now these are still around.
They are still around. They have cereal versions of them. They're in ice cream sometimes. They're a little hard to find, but they still do that wonderful exploding in your mouth thing that all the kids on the playground would just, you know, love to do.
And started that urban myth.
That's right.
Started the urban. And we have some more food. Here's Pepsi Light. I had no idea. I knew about New Coke, but I did not know there was Pepsi Light.
With lemon.
Pepsi Light came out even before Tab. I think it was a lemon Pepsi. At first it had 50 calories, and then they decided that wasn't low enough, so they went down to 1 calorie, and it just didn't make it. It was gone by the 80s, and the 80s were over.
There were a lot of items in the 70s that, you know, like for instance, lawn darts that would, you know, this was a dangerous toy, but you know, kids loved them. And also peddling candy cigarettes was a big idea. I know I ate quite a few.
Right.
I went to quite a few packs of these as a kid.
And these are still around. You can still find these at convenience stores, but note that they don't say anywhere on there that they're cigarettes now. They're just simply candy that happens to look exactly like
with
a
a little red light in.
Now this extended if you're a kid of the 80s. This, because Dynamite started in the 70s, went into the 80s, and I mean, look at that. I mean, every teen idol. It's kind of the new version of like, you know, well, TRL's even off the air, but Teen Beat and all those types of magazines.
Yeah, and really, it's kind of what Entertainment Weekly became eventually, you know, just for adults.
Look at Sean Cassidy.
Oh, look at him. Look at how cute he is. Okay, this is something that I never went to the roller gardens, the one in St. Louis Park, without my big old
Bonnie Bell
lip smackers in my back pocket.
We had them on those ropes.
The Dr. Pepper, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, yes, and bubble gum. They still have them. They have smaller chapstick-sized ones as well.
And look at her. This is Barbie. What kind of, is this Malibu?
Malibu
This is
Barbie.
Malibu
Jason,
Barbie.
it's Malibu Barbie.
Malibu.
Come
I
on.
don't know. I mean,
This is a
play
reproduction.
with this
She
one?
comes with
no.
sunscreen.
I only played with She-Ra.
Yeah.
Sunscreen?
Yeah, back,
Oh, look
back
at that.
when
Tom,
we
can
were
you get a
kids,
shot?
you
Look at
didn't
the-
wear
look at the
sunscreen. You
down
were not
there.
protecting yourself from the sun. You wanted to be burned.
That's
but
right.
you know, now today, this
Baby
is a
oil.
reproduction. She has to have the safe sunscreen.
Of course, Quisp.
Just quickly, so why did you write this? To find that you can still get some of these items, not all of them. That was the point of the book.
Yeah,
right?
we really just wanted to take a look back at our childhoods. I mean, we're the kind of people who every conversation goes back to the Brady Bunch or Kool-Aid Man or whatever, and we just really wanted to kind of go and explore what was still around and what's been gone and where you can find stuff
And people
today.
get so excited when they find, you know, it's like reuniting with a lost friend when they find that they can still get, Gigi, your hair smells terrific shampoo.
All right. Well, this was fun. Go back down memory lane. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thanks. Thank you.
You can meet the authors at 2 different book signings. The first one is Saturday from noon to 2 at the Mall of America, Barnes & Noble. The second is next Monday night at the Roseville Barnes & Noble.